Shocking discovery in Yu Menglong case leaves fans in tears and rage. The internet has been thrown into chaos once again. A new revelation about Yu Menglong's mysterious passing has sent shockwaves through fans worldwide. And this time, it's not just a rumor. For months, people have speculated, questioned, and searched for answers. Why did everything surrounding Yu Menglong's final days feel so off? Why did statements from those around him never seem to align? Why did the timeline of events feel deliberately edited, rearranged, and blurred? Now, a shocking discovery has reignited the entire conversation. And the truth it suggests has left fans both heartbroken and furious. It started when an anonymous source, claiming to be a former employee of the production studio, came forward. They shared a set of encrypted files allegedly tied to Yu Menglong's last project. A project that, interestingly, was never released to the public. At first, no one paid much attention. But when snippets of those files surfaced online, the tone shifted completely. Within seconds of viewing, fans realized they were looking at something that shouldn't exist. Behind the bright smiles and elegant camera work was an unspoken story. A story of exhaustion, silence, and something darker no one dared to name. The videos, though blurred and incomplete, showed Yu appearing visibly distressed during what should have been casual moments. There were glances to someone off-camera. Moments where his expression shifted from polite professionalism to visible discomfort, only for him to quickly mask it again, as though afraid to break character. Netizens began freezing frames, analyzing every second, searching for hidden meaning. And one thing became impossible to ignore: the bruising around his wrists in one clip, the subtle tremor in his hands when he thought the camera wasn't rolling. It wasn't just fatigue. It wasn't just acting. It was something that looked like fear. Within hours, the footage went viral across multiple platforms. Hashtags filled every timeline. Posts multiplied faster than moderators could control them. The same comment echoed beneath every video: "He was trying to tell us." People began to revisit his old interviews, songs, and behind-the-scenes clips. They noticed his tone in recent months had changed. Gone was the carefree charm he'd once radiated. Instead, he spoke slower, more carefully, as if each word had to pass through layers of caution. In one late-night interview, he was asked a simple question: "What keeps you motivated when things get difficult?" He laughed nervously and replied, "Sometimes. You just keep going because stopping isn't an option." At the time, it seemed poetic. Now it sounds chilling. As more pieces of information surfaced, fans uncovered another layer. One involving the people who had worked closest to him. One makeup artist, under an anonymous handle, posted that Yu often requested to cover certain marks before shooting. Another assistant claimed he hadn't been allowed to travel alone or speak to certain staff during his final project. Suddenly, every fan theory that had been dismissed months ago didn't seem far-fetched anymore. The conversation turned from curiosity to outrage. How could so many warning signs go unnoticed? How could everyone around him stay silent while he suffered in plain sight? Then came the most disturbing revelation. In one of the leaked files, dated only a few weeks before his passing, there was a message. Not a note, not a recording, but a single image of Yu sitting at a dressing table, staring directly into the mirror. The caption beneath read, "This isn't the ending I wanted." No one knows who took the photo. No one knows why it was stored in the project folder. But fans across the globe have treated it as his final cry for help. A haunting image that refuses to fade from memory. As investigators began retracing steps, inconsistencies piled up. Reports about his schedule conflicted. The official time of discovery changed 3 times. And one of the individuals who had been present during those last few hours quietly left the country just days later. Authorities now admit that the case, once declared closed, has been quietly reopened. The production company has issued a carefully worded statement, claiming full cooperation with the investigation, but refusing to comment on any unverified materials circulating online. Their silence only fueled more speculation. Fans, however, are no longer waiting for permission to seek the truth. Across online communities, Digital investigators have formed teams dedicated to uncovering what really happened. They've tracked deleted posts, recovered archived interviews, and built a timeline of Yu's final days that paints a very different picture from the official narrative. They discovered that on the night before his passing, Yu had reportedly attended a private meeting at a corporate residence. He left late, alone, without his usual staff, and CCTV footage of him leaving that building has since gone missing. The timing is too precise to be coincidence. Someone knew something. Someone made sure the public wouldn't. Now, the outcry has reached international media. Even those who were previously silent are beginning to speak up. A few actors from the circle have cautiously shared tributes that sound more like veiled messages than condolences. One wrote, "Some lights burn too brightly for the world to handle." Another said, "I wish we'd protected you better." Neither named you directly, but everyone understood exactly who they meant. And then came the twist no one expected. A former executive connected to Yu's agency was reportedly questioned by authorities. Soon after, several old documents were leaked, showing strange financial transfers between the company's subsidiaries. One occurring just 48 hours after Yu's death. Millions moved. Projects erased. Contracts cancelled. The pattern was impossible to ignore. What began as a tragedy now looks more like a cover-up. Online forums are flooded with theories, but one stands out. That Yu Menglong may have discovered something the company didn't want exposed. Something buried deep within their operations, possibly involving coercion, exploitation, and the silencing of voices that dared to speak. Some even believe he was preparing to break free, to take control of his own narrative, his own freedom. And that was when everything changed. Today, fans continue to flood social media with one message: we won't forget. Tribute pages have turned into platforms demanding transparency. Petitions are being signed by the thousands. People who once followed Yu for his artistry now stand united in seeking justice. But beneath the anger and activism lies something deeper: grief. Grief for the man whose laughter once filled screens, whose kindness reached beyond fame, whose light now feels stolen rather than extinguished. Every update in this story cuts deeper. Every clue makes it harder to accept that it was just an accident. The public no longer believes in coincidences. There is a sense that something enormous is unraveling, something that could expose the industry's darkest secrets. And as the investigation grows, one truth remains unshakable. Yu Menglong's story will not fade quietly. He may have been silenced, but his silence has become a roar echoing across borders, across screens, across hearts, demanding the truth. For many, the shock has turned into purpose. They want accountability. They want answers. They want the world to finally recognize what was.